Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in Nashville, in the beautiful Nashville studios. And today we're going to talk about extended controls for your Glock. We offer them for every model of Glock, and today I'm going to be working on what is going to be my personal Glock 45. Now, the Glock 45 is really cool because it is the gun that features the compact upper with the full-sized lower. Basically, a Glock 19 upper, Glock 17 lower. It's a Gen 5 gun because it features the ambidextrous slide stop on both sides. It also doesn't have the finger grooves. It's got the new checkering and all that stuff, so that's what makes it a Gen 5, basically. But this design and this configuration with the shorter slide and the full-size grip, I think is ideal for self-defense, home defense. It's easy to store, but it gives you the full-size grip, easy to carry. Again, full-size grip to be able to drive it fast, drive it hard, and maintain that grip. And that's really where the accuracy starts, is a consistent grip throughout, not only from shot to shot, but from draw to draw. If you can get on the gun and present it consistently, the sights are lined up and you're ready to go. This gun already has some of my other upgrades. I've got our pyramid trigger installed. I've got the Trijicon HD XR sights. HD sights are Trijicon, they're night sights, of course, but the concept here, this is a fast acquisition combat sight or self-defense sight, in that it's got a large U in the back, and the XR extended range version has a smaller or thinner front post. Both of them feature tritium inserts. This big orange dot out here surrounds the tritium insert, so they glow at nighttime. But during the day, that big dot, really, you can find it fast, you can present it fast, you can get it lined up fast, and the bigger U in the back kind of lends itself to fast shooting. I've also got our tungsten guide rod installed here, so that helps reduce muzzle flip, felt recoil, allows you to shoot faster with tighter groups. It's one of our most, if not the most popular item that we've ever sold, is a tungsten guide rod, replacing your plastic guide rod that comes with the Glock. So I'm going to build this up over time, and one of the things I want to do today is install, right here on camera, the extended checkered magazine release button. Now, it's available in a whole bunch of different colors. You know, black being most popular. I'm doing a red and black theme here, so I'm going to put the red button in today, just so you can see it a little bit better. But also, I kind of like the red and black concept. The extended button sticks out just a little bit more than the factory. The idea being that it allows you to adjust or to manipulate that without adjusting your grip, which is very important. Again, we go right back to grip. If your grip is consistent, shot to shot, reload to reload, you're going to be a more consistent shooter. Just that simple. So the better grip you have, the more consistent it is. From every time you grab the gun, you want to be in the same spot, because as you present it, that grip is what helps line up or pre-align those sights. So I'm a big believer in that. Now, so we're going to go ahead and install this piece right here. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple installation. You can do it at home. All you need is a flathead screwdriver, just like this, with you know, kind of a nice sharper or smaller flat, but it's got to be long enough to reach in there, and I'll show you that in a bit. And then also a pair of needle nose pliers to pull out the spring. This magazine button is actually operated with a roll pin spring, so it's not a coil spring. It's a pin that basically sits in the frame right here, and as you depress the magazine button, it kind of just goes back and forth. And that's what allows it to have pressure on it, so it's always wanting to be in this closed or outward position. And you'll see as we take it apart, there's a V, plastic V, that the spring just fits into. And we're going to pull that spring out because you need to install this new magazine button. So first and foremost, we want to make sure the gun is empty. There's no ammunition on this table. There's no ammunition really on my person. I don't have any magazines, loaded magazines floating around. I always want to double check inside. Every time I pick the gun up, I want to double check, pull the trigger in a safe direction, and always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction, no matter what. Now, one of the things to keep in mind when you're working on guns, sometimes, you know, you're doing stuff, you're watching TV, you know, well, that, you know, I mean, you're at your house, whatever, and you're not intending to shoot it. You lay it down, you go do something, go to the bathroom, take a phone call, whatever. You pick the gun back up. At that point, you're starting from ground zero. Now we're, okay, Is it loaded or not? You never know. Open it up and check. Always double check. And that's my advice to you, is that every time that the gun is out of your possession, even if it's in your house, even if it's you're the only person home, you don't really know what condition it is until you double check it. And that's what I do every time. You'll see people do that all the time, and it's almost to the point of too much, but one accidental discharge is too much. So you can never double check enough. Enough said on that. Now let's go ahead and take this gun apart. You've seen me do this a million times, but it's pretty simple. The Glock is an easy gun to manage. You basically take your grip, just rotate your hand up on top, pull that back just about a 1/4 inch. You're taking some pressure off of that slide lock, and on both sides, you're going to pull that down, the slide lock down, and hold it down. And as you hold it down, then you can walk the slide off. Being careful not to let it slip or fall or come out of your hand, because it will fall on the table, and it's going to fall nose first. And if it does that, all that weight will bend or break or chip the nose ring here. And then at that point, that slide is basically toast, as they say. Okay, so there's the upper. Complete, has all the pieces and parts ready to go. I'm going to put that off the side. We're actually going to work on this magazine release button right here. You'll notice that's the plastic, the one that comes with a gun. It works good, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to get on top of and to actually manipulate, especially if you have smaller hands. So we sell a ton of these extended controls for a lot of reasons. One, it's just easier to operate. Two, they're just more attractive. You can change the colors and do some fun stuff with it. Now, to remove that spring, we want to get in there with our flathead screwdriver. And the objective is to go in to the frame and to grab that spring, push it over, and scoop it out so that it lives on top of the magazine button at that point. Then we're going to take the spring out, we're going to switch the buttons out, and then put the spring back in. So that's the way to do this Ambidextrous Gen 4, Gen 5 magazine catch. So first things first, let's go ahead in here and get this guy out. Now sometimes this is not that easy, but it's not that hard. You just got to be persistent. You want to scoop it and lift it up. So let's see if I can get lucky here and do it in a couple of tries or so. Okay, one more time, and boom, got it. Okay, now the spring basically lives now on top of the magazine there, and let's see if I can get inside here and actually see that. All right, so you can see there the magazine release. It's black plastic, and then the silver spring lives right there on top of it. And that's where I put it. It goes into a notch, and I'll show you that when I take it out. So now what I want to do is I'm going to grab that spring and pull it out. A lot of people are concerned about this. Well, how do I put it back in? It's just a press fit. So needle nose pliers. Let's go in here and grab it. Hold on to it. Oops, almost got it. Slowly but surely it's coming. It's in there about a 1/4 inch or so, maybe even a half, not quite a half, maybe a 1/4 inch. I just can't get a good grip. There it is right there. Okay. All right, that is the roll pin we talked about, roll pin spring. And we sell these as a separate piece. Some people have lost these. Some people, want to replace them or at least have a replacement just in case. Now, it's amazing. Basically the gun will not work without that part because the magazine won't stay inside of it because it doesn't have any pressure. So that's a really important piece. It's crazy, but there it is. So, all right, I'm going to put that down like that. You don't want to lose it. If you do lose it, call us. We've got them. This is the magazine button. It's going to come out. It comes out. There you go. There's the plastic magazine button. And here's the replacement that we're going to use. This is the extended checkered, which I find to be more attractive. And I'm going to use this one as a demo because I want you to see how this spring works. All right, so basically thinking about how it's going to sit inside the gun, it's going to sit kind of like this, boom, with the checkered on this side. because I'm going to operate it. Now, if you're left-handed, you just switch it over, and the checkered will be on that side. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it where it was. The spring goes into this little notch right here, and it gets buried right underneath there. So when it lives in the gun, it's pushing all the time in the closed or outward position, because that spring lives in that V, and it's sitting here like this. This is how it wants to sit. So we have to go ahead and push it over, get it captured into the notch, and it's going to do this, and then it's going to always push this way. As you depress it, it goes that way. The ledge releases the magazine. Basically locks into it like right here. And that's what holds the magazine in place. When you push the button, it basically releases it, the magazine falls out, and it falls out because of the pressure on the follower, and that's the spring pressure that actually makes it kind of go out fast. When you push the button, boom, there they go. So that's because of the spring pressure here. So you can see how important all these little springs are, because they actually, make the gun operate. So this is basically what we're looking to do. We want it to live here like that, and to capture it in the gun in that closed position, or say, actually the open position, I guess, because it's pushing it out. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and install our button and just look at the fit and function there. I'll go ahead and put it in here from this side and get it lined up, and there it lives just like that, and that's what it's going to look like. See, it sits out just a little bit more, not enough to interfere with holsters or anything of that nature, but it does sit out just a little bit more, and it's got a little bit of texture on it, and of course it marries up with the red and black concept I've got going. But I think it looks a little bit more like jewelry all of a sudden than it does plastic part. It just a little bit more substantial, nicer looking. I'm really happy with them. So. It sits there like that. So once we have it there like that, now we have to go ahead and put our spring back in. So let's drop this guy like so. And I'll grab the spring. And now, as I told you, it's a press fit. So we take our spring, and we're going to just push it into that V, which you saw earlier. And it doesn't seem, like it's really stuck in there, but you have to push it down pretty darn far. So I've got it in there right now. So now I'm going to take the nose of these pliers, and just push it straight in there. And there you go. And it bottoms itself out and stops. And there it is. So now, again, it lives right now on top of the magazine release. Lives over right here. It's the actual spring is sitting here. My objective now is to push it over and to capture it into that notch. So I take my flathead screwdriver again. I'm going to now push it over and push it down. It'll actually find the notch once you push it over, and then it'll be done. And it usually goes in a lot easier than it comes out, just like that. And there it is. So now we want to just verify our spring pressure. Feels good. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put our magazines in. And this magazine is unloaded. And you're going to notice a couple things I want you to really be aware of, is that the follower actually pushes up the slide stop. That's what locks the slide back on the last shot. You can see how it's up there in that position. So when you shoot the last shot, the follower intersects with the slide stop. This little ledge right here on the follower actually pushes the slide stop up using this piece right here, and that's what captures and keeps the slide back on that last shot. So, looks like it's coming out. Likewise, the spring pressure on that follower is what helps make this thing drop out. So it's not just gravity, it's also got a little push to it, but that's what we're looking for. We want it to fall out. Now, in the old days when Glock first developed this gun, Gaston Glock that is, he didn't have his magazines drop free because he felt, and rightfully so, that in battle, and he built the gun for the military, he didn't want guys dropping magazines out all over the place. He actually wanted you to stop, pull the magazine out, put it in your pocket, and put a new magazine in. Now, of course, here in America, we're all competition shooters, and we're not worried about that. But so we want to drop that magazine and throw the first one in as we can and keep on going. But in true combat, out in the real world, you're going to want to maintain that magazine. So it's kind of a tactical reload. So you're here, you're going to grab the other magazine, put the new magazine in, and then keep this because you may need it later on. And if you're in quote unquote battle or combat, there may not be a store to buy another magazine. So always think about that. And yeah, it's fun to be able to do speed reloads, but at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you need to have that concept of a tactical reload to maintain your magazine so it doesn't get lost somewhere in the battlefield or wherever you happen to be, because you may not be able to go pick it up again. So that's basically the installation. I mean, it looks good, it feels good, it works, it does what it's supposed to do. Now we'll go ahead and put the upper back on. Basically just line up our rails and being careful here. I've done this before where you come back all the way, and if you don't pay attention, sometimes you can get those rails underneath or above the rails on the gun. So just be careful and always be aware before you get too aggressive with that. Then once it's in the backward spot, you can lock it in place, and now you're good to go. Here's that magazine button. Boom, look at that, works good, boom. Feels good, feels better than the plastic, and looks a lot better than the plastic, and I think will operate better than the plastic. Last longer, of course, but also, again, you do not have to manage or manipulate or change your grip to be able to do it. You can see I'm just pushing it with my thumb, and that's the idea. And that allows you to do fast reloads and come back on target without having to adjust or change your grip, which again is what we talked about, leads to better, more accurate, faster shooting. So, extended magazine release button, checkered. We've got them in serrated as well. They're available for every model Glock. That's one of the things we manufacture right here in Nashville in the USA. I love them. I think they're great. It's a great combination. Now you can see as I build this gun up, I'll start to do some other things on it, and I've got a couple more videos. I think the next video I'm going to do is the extended slide lock. That's the takedown device. We actually make a larger one that makes it a lot easier to take down. So I'm letting it go. Of course, we've got all kinds of cool stuff for your Glock. If you're looking to improve your shooting, looking to improve your Glock, this is the right place. Of course, we have a shooting range here in Nashville like nothing else you've ever seen. There are combat rooms. They allow you to shoot in multiple directions at multiple targets versus shooting down a lane. So if you want to be a better shooter, you've got to get away from a lane. I mean, lanes are okay to go bang, bang, hit a target. But if you want to be a real shooter, a tactical shooter, and be able to manipulate the gun in a way that will help you in a self-defense scenario, you got to shoot in a range like we have. This is the Shoot 270 concept here in Nashville. I invite you to come down and check it out. Of course, we got pieces and parts and lots of videos for you to watch on our website. And if you do make it to Nashville and you come to the store, let them know so I can come out and shake your hand and say hello. All right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you here, I hope. And by the way, we are also opening a channel on Rumble. So you'll find us on YouTube, but also on Rumble. A lot of people are going to Rumble for a lot of reasons, and I think you probably know why we are going to Rumble as well. We're going to keep the YouTube going as long as they have us, but Rumble is now being populated with more and more videos, so do check us out there as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.